how can somebody bring their uniqueness and their brand, their niche, be them?
There are a bunch of things that we love and we enjoy and we can speak to and we can do and we can help people in all of these different areas. But I do think, though, if you're trying to become well known for something, there is like a level of applied focus that you have to have, right? Because to the point that you made earlier, like if you're just talking to everyone, then you're not really talking to anyone. And I think that there is a time and a place to be able to expand out. But if you're trying to become well known, when you walk in a room or you're not in that room and people are talking to you and you want them to say specific things about you, then there's like a level of focus that has to be applied there, I believe. But I don't think that there's anything wrong with being like multi-passionate and having all of these different things that you enjoy. Go ahead and do that. Display those things. That's a part of who you are.
Welcome to Rise, Shine, and Redefine, the podcast where entrepreneurship meets purpose. I'm Karen Meininger, and I'll help you create an authentic and powerful business. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to the Rise, Shine, and Redefine podcast. I'm your host, Karen Meininger, and I'm here today with Briana Medard, a personal brand strategist and the creator of Social Ease Method, committed to making personal branding and social media feel accessible and authentic. With a bachelor's in business administration, a master's in digital marketing, and accolades in digital storytelling and branding, Briana brings over a decade of experience in marketing and business development. As a strategist with the award-winning Brand Builders Group, she's guided 6- and 7-figure entrepreneurs in sharing their unique stories, building impactful brands. Briana is also the founder of the Plenty More Kindness Project, a nonprofit that honors and celebrates the selfless job of motherhood through acts of kindness and community support. Passionate about storytelling and helping others share their voice with clarity and confidence, Briana is dedicated to making the journey of personal branding not just strategic, but truly transformative. Yay! Welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you on, and I'm excited to talk all things personal branding or social media, whatever feels really good for you.
We can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Beautiful. So Briana, tell me, how did you get into this? Like, I know you work for Brand Builders Group. I was a client of Brand Builders. Just so you guys know, Briana was my coach and Brand Builders and really helped me clarify on, how to show up in this world and what my magic sauce was. So I'm so grateful to have you here and to help others really understand personal branding. So how did you get into this?
Yeah. So, my background had been in marketing and business development I think I had done that for like 12 years, I want to say. I never remember. It's somewhere between like 10 and 12 years. I think prior to getting into marketing and business development, I wasn't 100% sure of like what lane I was going to fall into. I thought I would be like in PR and communications of some sort. And I was supposed to go to school in New York for that. And then like this whole life thing just happened where that plan just didn't work out for me. And I wound up having to choose a school here at home in Florida. So I was like, well, at least let me just choose something accredited and go, because all school had already started. And so I had to hurry up and find a school. And I found one in Weston. It was a private school. Probably shouldn't have done that because private schools are super expensive. It was a heck of a lot more money than I needed to pay, but I just wanted to get started in something. And so I chose a business program, and then I decided to concentrate in entrepreneurship. And one of the classes that I took was a marketing class, and it just really stuck with me. It was the most exciting class that I was taking. And so I decided that I was just going to like kind of go all in on it. And I think it was maybe I don't know if it was my sophomore year or my junior year of undergrad, where I was just like, I think I'm going to start a marketing company. I had no experience like starting a business before. I was just like, I think I'm just going to do it and let's see what happens. And so I had enough space in my room that I was able to like create like an office for myself. I wish I had a picture of it because it was pretty cool. It's pretty legit. And then I had called like Comcast. I got myself a business phone number. I mean, all within 5 days, I had just decided that I was going to start a business. And so I started the business and I had my first client within like the first 2 days. And it just kind of took off from there, and it evolved into a bunch of different other things. And then I moved into more of like the working professional world and got into marketing and business development. And I got a chance to work with a lot of great state agencies and sports teams, partnerships in that area. I've worked with nonprofits, and I've worked with lawyers and entrepreneurs of all kinds. And at some point, like that was fun, but it wasn't fun anymore. I don't necessarily know what happened. I think my 30th birthday was coming around the corner, and I felt like I was starting to have a midlife crisis. And I was like, God, I need help. Like something just isn't right. Like I thought I was doing what I enjoyed doing and I loved doing it, but I don't know, something didn't feel right about it. And so I had a really come to Jesus moment. And I was just like, hey, we've got to figure something out. And he was like, great, look, quit your job. That's the answer. You quit your job. And I thought, man, this guy isn't listening to me, right? Like I'm in the middle of a midlife crisis. You want me to quit my job? Like this doesn't make any sense. And I did. And it forced me to do some of the most intentional work I think I had ever done, thinking about who I wanted to be, how I wanted to feel when I woke up in the morning, the kind of money I wanted to make, the kind of people I wanted to work with, the impact I wanted to have. And that led me into Brand Builders Group, right? I get to not just work with like these companies and these really big organizations that I don't feel really connected to, but now I get to work with like people that have this passion and a vision and this thing that they really feel called on their heart to serve in the world. And just that lights me up, and that's how we got here. That was a long story for how we got here, but that's how we got here.
I love it. And just when you go all in and you're on yourself, it's like magic happens. It's like there's no more holding back. It's like, okay, this is meant for me. And I am now this huge proponent of doing things that don't make sense, right? Like I left my 8-figure company. Like that makes no sense, right? And so when we start doing things that don't make sense, it opens up things beyond our mind of opportunities to start showing up and really fill in what your magic is. Sure. And I love it. And I know you've worked with so many different personal brands along the way. And I know you've worked with me. I jumped me as your client. Oh, Jesus. Right. Like I have jumped ship, pivoted so many different times, really trying to figure it out, and you helping me really not necessarily niche down to a specific thing. And I kind of want to dive deeper into this because I feel there's a lot of noise on niching, right? You have to have your message dialed in. You have to like be an expert at this one thing. Yeah. And you can challenge me on this, but something that I'm learning as I'm growing and becoming more into who I am is like, I'm a multi-passionate being. Like I love all the things, right? Like give me biohacking, give me personal growth, give me coaching, give me parenting, right? There are so many things that I'm so excited and passionate about. And it's like, we're taught, like, at least in bro marketing, right? Or how I see it is we're put in this box of like, well, if you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one, right? Mm-hmm. This has been kind of the current theme. Yeah. And I want to talk about niching to you as your own personal brand and not having to be in this box of, well, it has to be this way or it's not going to work. Because So how can somebody bring their uniqueness and their brand, their niche, be them?
Yeah. So I think that as humans, right, like there are a bunch of things that we love and we enjoy and we can speak to and we can do and we can help people and in all of these different areas. But I do think, though, if you're trying to become well known for something, there is like a level of applied focus that you have to have, right? Because to the point that you made earlier, if you're just talking to everyone, then you're not really talking to anyone. And I think that there is a time and a place to be able to expand out. But if you're trying to become well known, when you walk in a room or you're not in that room and people are talking to you and you want them to say specific things about you, then there's like a level of focus that has to be applied there, I believe. But I don't think that there's anything wrong with being like multi-passionate and having all of these different things that you enjoy. Go ahead and do that. Display those things. That's a part of who you are. But if you are trying to become well known for a specific thing, there is a level of focus that has to be applied to that thing. But you can still talk and share those other pieces of you. But if you're trying to service someone in a specific area, you do have to niche down. I do believe that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally see it. Okay. So if you're new, let's talk about the newbies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I still have this problem is hiding behind learning, right? It's like, how can we be less thinking, more doing, trying to create a personal brand, trying to understand what you actually are an expert at, right? Because I think what happens is the perfectionism, imposter syndrome, self-doubt, all the things get in our way. And it's like, I need to learn more before I can even put myself out there because I don't want to sound or be perceived in a certain way. So what are some things that if you're starting or you're like, okay, I really want to have a personal brand. And okay, I kind of am an expert, right? This is our story we're telling ourselves, but we don't really know if we're actually an expert. What are some ways that we can really start expanding our brand that feels in alignment?
Yeah. So for one, I think if you're just getting started and you have this, you feel this push or this call to start a personal brand, I think that you have to allow yourself to try things on, right? Like it's okay if you're not exactly sure where you want to start or where you fit or what's perfectly right for you. But I think you have to give yourself grace in trying things on. I was working with 2 clients, I think. This is probably about a year ago when her and I started working together, and her and I had gone through a lot of different iterations of what she was meant to do. She knew that she was meant to coach, but she wasn't 100% sure on what that was. And so we had gone through iterations and iterations of what that was going to look like. And at one point she was like, Briana, I think I need a break. I think I need to stop. She was like, I think I just need to allow myself to just like chill and relax and not put so much pressure on myself. And she came back after that break and she was just like, Bri, I have to tell you that taking that break gave me a lot of clarity. She was like, I spent all of this time within this last year trying a bunch of different things on. And in that process, it allowed me to see what direction I'm supposed to go in, where I'm supposed to be. And even in having that conversation with her, it opened up something for me of like, it is okay to try things on, to figure out where you fit, where you're meant to be, right? And it's okay that you don't have all the answers. It's okay that you don't come in exactly clear. You can go get clear, right? Like you can find your direction. And so I think that there's so much beauty in the discovery process. If you feel called to do something, you're just not sure what it is, go and try some things on so you can find what feels most natural and best to you. And you feel confident when you do it. As far as feeling like you don't know enough, I think that's more of definitely an insecurity thing. I feel that too, right? Like I've definitely gone through that when I started with Brand Builders Group. Like I came in with over a decade of experience, but now I was like having to teach people how to build these personal brands. And I started to feel like, man, maybe I'm unqualified. I did truly. But I think that you have to just allow yourself to just lean in and do it, right? Like the confidence will come, the confidence builds over time and you do find it. But for one, definitely allow yourself the grace and the space to grow into something that feels like your zone of genius. And then the other part of that is just doing it and trusting yourself and leaning in, and the confidence will find you.
Yeah. Yeah. I like to look at it as testing, like you're a scientist and you're just testing things out. Like test it. Don't believe me. Don't believe you. Just go out there, test it. And something with confidence, right? How do we create confidence? It's by leaning into bravery and doing it over and over again, right? We're going to build that confidence muscle by doing the things that we're completely afraid of doing, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the things,
sorry, I wanted to say this for you. As we were working on your brand, right, we also went through some iterations, and
yes,
the way that I've been seeing you show up lately seems so clear, and you're so confident. And I'm just like, that is so beautiful, right? But it came after like a couple of tries, a couple of test runs, right? And so that's so beautiful that you're leaning into something that you feel really good in. And I'm just really happy about that for you.
Thank you. No, I really appreciate it. And tell me what you think about this. So I heard this, and this really, really resonated with me, especially on like social media content, right? I think a lot of times people get blocked on what to share on social media. And we're hearing all these different things. You got to post every day. You got to post 3 times a day. You got to do the carousel. You got to do how do we go viral? Visibility is my issue, blah, blah, right? We're like hearing all the noise from all the different directions. And this really landed for me. And I want your thoughts on it. Was stop trying to go make content. Instead, live your life, and that's your content. And when I heard that, when it wasn't about like, oh, what can I create today? It was, what am I doing in my life right now? And that's my content. I went on a cruise last weekend.
Yeah.
Or 2 weekends ago, not even thinking like, oh, this is content for social media. I was just living my life and having a blast doing it. Yeah. And there was content that was captured in those moments in different videos. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so true. Like, just live your life, and that's your content. Instead of being like, I need to have a content day and create all these different things. I think, especially for a personal brand, it's like people want to see you living your life, right?
Absolutely.
And like leaning in and doing the things. And like, so for me, like, I want to create a movement of helping women make more income and an impact in the world, right? So it's like, how do you help people create that? Is by doing it yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I think when it comes to like social media and content, like I think if you're building a personal brand, there has to be some kind of balance, right? Like there is a balance between the content that's like educational and it's teaching you, and this is value-based content because I want you to take these things and do them because I believe that they will help you change your situation or your circumstance. But then there's the other part of social media that's meant to be social. Right. And I think people often forget that, like, it's meant to, see how people are living their lives and what they're doing. Right. And people want to see that from you. People want to see that you're human and that you're not here to just lecture me and talk to me. Right. Like set up your camera and just kind of film yourself, around the house. Right. Like if you're a personal brand that speaks to moms, right. Yet I only kind of see you teaching me about what to do and how to speak to my children or things like that. But it's like I never actually see you in action. I never see you with your family. I never see you with your kids. I don't know who you are. There's nothing to connect to. So yes, I do think that you have to create content that is just your life, right? And not just creating content for the sake of I need to prepare content so I can post on social media and hope that this will be my next client or something, right? Like social media is meant to be social and it's meant to be fun. It shouldn't feel like another job. And then that's usually when people give up on it. You're trying too hard.
Yes. Okay. So here's another question for you. So you're getting the personal brand down, right? You're balancing, you're like, okay, I got my my value content. I got my relatable content. I'm in harmony, right? Like at least on social media, I'm like, okay, I got my store set up. You can see all different facets of me. Okay, but no one's buying. No one's buying. Okay. Okay. No one's buying. No one's liking, or there's not a lot of engagement. Okay. What do we do? How do we start like creating a movement? How do we start having people engage? You're doing all the things, you're doing everything right. You're following all the steps that you're supposed to do, but no one's buying. How can we shift? What's something that we can start doing a little bit differently? Because we're done testing, we've done it, we figured it out, but it's still not quite having anyone buy.
Yeah, I think there are a couple of things that you have to consider with that. I think number one is how much time have you spent on social media, right? If it's only been like a week or 2 weeks, we're just being impatient.
Sure.
Right. We're just being impatient, and we haven't allowed enough time to pass before we're starting to like ask people to trust us. And that's another thing too. A lot of people we get onto social media because we have access to billions of people on social media. But again, we're forgetting that this is social media. This is not person to person contact where you have a little more opportunity to build trust with somebody. And so it takes a little bit of a second. There is a longer sales cycle when you are on social media. So you need to allow yourself to build trust with the audience, right? And building trust comes by giving away valuable content, and valuable content that people can use, right? This isn't just like, I'm going to tell you what to do, but I'm also going to show you what to do, because people need to be able to witness and see the value for themselves. That way they come back for more, and they come back for more, and they come back for more. And now you've started to build trust with them, right? And the more trust that you build, the bigger the ask can get. So I think one, we have to look at our time. How long have we been here? Two, have we built enough trust by offering enough value, and value that allows those on social media who are following us to see it for themselves so they can come back for more value. And then I think the third thing is that oftentimes we put all of our eggs in the social media basket, because we see that social media takes off for so many people, but you only see when it took off, right? Like you don't actually see like the groundwork it took, or the years that it took for them to get there to establish themselves on social media. And so it's not that social media can't work for you, but I do think that you will always have a better chance of with your offline connections than you will online first. So don't put all of your eggs in your social media basket. Go meet real people. Go talk to real people. Expand your network outside of social media, and then you can have sales, right? Because you have a better chance of building trust with in-person interactions. But if you're putting all of your eggs in a social media basket, especially in the beginning, I think it's going to be really hard for you, because social media is a longer game when it comes to building trust.
1,000%. Social media is a long game. And yeah, where do sales come from? They come from people, right? They come from people, and people will buy from you when they trust you. And it's like building that trust muscle, and even taking it offline, taking it off social media, right? How do you build trust with somebody? Because, right, you don't want to be salesy, scammy Susan, right? Who's like, oh, you started following me. Okay, let me sell you my thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like people want to be seen, heard, and understood, right? Think of everyone as a child, right? They all want to be seen, heard, and understood.
For sure.
And I think sometimes, like even for me, when I first started getting sales, I was like, so excited about the sale that I didn't even be like, is this a good fit? Is this my ideal client? Do I even want to work with this person? Because it goes both ways. It's like, do you want the sale, or do you want to really change somebody's life? And learning, right? This is a learning for me. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I want clients who are excited to expand and learn and grow and become that next version. And like, right, I look at myself as a visionary expander for people. Like, let me share what's possible and beyond. Like, let's go to the moon, let's go fly, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like, oh, we just want the sale. We just want the sale. And then that trust, it's that relationship isn't built in the way that really is going to expand us to really help us grow, because we want, like for me, right? Referrals are the best marketing.
Absolutely.
Like, and how do you get referrals, right? It's being
by changing exactly. But you also get a referral by changing someone's life, right? Like a changed life is the best form of marketing, right? It's the reason that we look at a review before we go buy something, because did it work for them, right? It's like if it didn't work, can't really trust it. But if you're in person, you have a better opportunity of building trust with someone than you do on social media. I think it just takes a little second. Yeah, you just have to be willing to be patient. People are not willing to be patient, and I think we start to lose not value, but we start to lose sight of the mission. I think once it becomes time to sell, right? It becomes more about like, how can I sell myself? How can I get this person to buy? How can I get them to become a customer? Just like, wait, just relax. Like, let's give value. Let's have patience. Let's put it out there. Give this thing a chance to grow so people can really, truly understand it, take it in. And then we position ourselves well for a sell. But before, you don't want to ask too soon.
Yeah. And we're like, like you said, we're an instant gratification. It's like, I did the thing. Okay, now I should receive. And I like to look at everything as like planting seeds, right? Yes. It's just like, even if somebody isn't a client right now, it's just put yet in front of it. They're just not a client yet. And how can we keep building and showing up and creating value and the trust and like, hey, I'm here for you. I got you. I'm going to support you, whether you're my client or not. Why? Because I'm so lit up in what I do and how I show up that it doesn't even matter if you pay me or not. Right?
Absolutely.
Like, when I do free things, I pretend, I look at it as they paid me lots and lots of money. Anyway. Right. Like, you show up and that's going to create this attraction. That's going to create this way for people to want to work with you, because it's like, it's not even about the money. It's about the transformation.
Absolutely.
With or without money. And if like you're transforming people's lives, even without getting paid for it, like that's your inner world. That's like, oh, I get to feel this good no matter what, whether I get paid or not. And when you start showing up from that place, from this place of, I feel so effing good, like, I don't care, people are going to be completely drawn to that. And you're going to be a magnet.
Absolutely. I think that's like you kind of like attract that abundance to you, because like you're embodying that, right? And you're just like, this feels really good. I know that this is what I'm meant to do. And if you keep following that, what's meant for you will come to you.
1,000%. No, I absolutely love it. And it's just like planting seeds, building relationships. Think of a garden, right? You don't pour water on it, and then it takes time before you even see a little sprout coming out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, so good. Okay, so what is something? Okay, here's another thing that I feel like we get caught up on, right? So I'm a coach, right? I do energetics, right? It's like all the energy behind it. 80% of it is your inner, 20% strategy. However, like you were saying before, it's like people want results. People are going to buy based on the result that you're going to offer them.
Yep.
So some results are really tangible, really easy, right? Like, I'm going to help you get XYZ clients, right? Or I'm going to help you make X amount of dollars by working with me.
Yeah.
How can somebody do messaging around an intangible? How do we create an intangible into a tangible promise?
Ooh, that's a good question. Okay, well, so give me an example. So like someone who would be saying that they can, I don't know, like they can make you, I don't know, feel less like stressed and overwhelmed. Like what would be give me an example like, that you would.
By work, let's just use some of
Give me
my
an
work.
example
Like,
that you
I
would.
can help you feel more confident so you can show up in the world differently. I'm going to be super vague right now, right? But it's
Yeah.
like, I can help you with burnout, right? But burnout could look different for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Or I can help you feel more peaceful. It's like, how do you measure the intangible? And I know we can do rating scales. Oh, from a scale from 1 to 10, I feel this. But what are some ways to really dial in some messaging on intangible results that you can help somebody with? But I feel like a lot of people aren't necessarily problem aware. Maybe they feel overwhelmed and burned out, but
Yeah.
they're not necessarily like, oh, I want to hire somebody to help me with burnout. They're more like, I want help with the transformation. So like, what is the opposite of burnout, right? Like, where we can dial in that messaging. And I think it can get a little lost in translation. So are there ways to kind of clarify that?
Yeah, well, I feel like if you're trying to convince somebody that you can help them, let's say like overcome burnout, or you can help them find more balance, right? Because I think that's what a lot of people say that they want, right? That they want balance. And some people don't necessarily identify with the word balance. I feel like that's becoming like a word that people don't like to use these days.
Harmony. How do we become
Yes,
more in harmony?
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But I feel like if it's in your messaging, you want to be as clear and straightforward as possible, but it's not just the messaging that's going to be required for you to get your point across, or to gain that belief, right, from someone, or to get that belief from someone that you can help them achieve harmony or balance. I think it comes through in your personal stories and stories that you share, right? In what areas of your life has that thing come up, and then you share that story of, these were the things that I did and this is how I achieved it. And I'm sure that you have multiple stories in your life where that same thing has happened. It's just like a different scenario, right? And I think that is just like, if you can show people that I've gone through this time and time again, and this is the strategy or the thing that I have used to achieve it, then they're more like, okay, well, you know what? I felt that before. Let me try this the next time it comes up for me, right? Or, I've experienced that situation before. If this ever happens to me again, or I'm in that situation right now, let me try this, right? And so I think the only way that you can help somebody to see something that is intangible is by sharing your experiences and your life stories with them, so that they can go and be like, let me try that for myself too. So I think it's not just your messaging. You actually have to give story and examples.
Yeah. And the power of story is, I think, everything. It's like life artistry. It's like, hey, let me see what they're doing. And I think when you show up, I feel like people buy from you when they want what you have. They're like,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. Exactly. That's definitely a piece of it. And you have to be willing to get vulnerable and show the parts that aren't always the best, and they might be messy, and they might not be the picture perfect look. I think what social media is, right? Like, everybody's always putting their grade A content on social media. But when we can see that you can be raw and vulnerable, yet you have the thing that I want, right? Like, you've achieved that thing, that it must work, right? Like, I've gotten here, but I didn't get here without trials, tribulations, and the different experiences and stories that have shaped me to get here. So yeah, I think that you definitely share your stories.
Yeah, I'm reading this book, A New Earth. I don't know if you've read it. It's pretty deep, but he's talking about how when we show up in different roles. So it's like, when you're with your child, how are you talking to your child? Are you going to talk to your child the same way that you talk to a friend? Are you going to talk to your friend the same way you talk to a client? And so we're constantly like in these like different roles and not really being our true authentic self. And I thought it was really interesting. Obviously, Eckhart Tolle says it way better than I just described that. But it's like, I think it's the same with social media, right? It's interesting. So I started putting myself in rooms with like 7 and 8 figure entrepreneurs, right? And I'm like some of these people are like my heroes, and I have all this positive projection of like, oh my God, like they've made it, they're it. And I'm in this comparisonitis of like, oh, well, I'm not there yet. Oh my gosh. But then when you actually sit down and have a conversation with them outside of social media, you're like, oh, they're like totally normal human beings and
regular people.
They're just regular people. And it's just circling back, like I'm digressing. Why are we not surprised here? But, right. We tend to get in this comparisonitis. It's like, okay, I'm starting this brand. I'm starting this business. I'm doing all the things, but I'm not where I want to be. And so I'm in what we call the gap, right? It's like, we start being hard on ourselves because we're not where we want to be versus look how far you've come. Look at you. Like you got rid of your whole business to start over. Right. And then went all in. Makes no sense. But it's like when we start doing things that don't make sense, it's like, that's when we really get to share our story. And it's like, look what I did. And it didn't work. Or look what I did and it worked. Right. And I think people really are drawn to that. And it's like, it's okay to have a March 32nd if you want a March 32nd, right? Like who says we can't have it? Society. So what? Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So how can we bring in our uniqueness? So what are some ways before I know we're coming to the end of our interview here. I don't like calling it an interview. That's okay. So let's cut that out. Let's the end of our end of this conversation, but it's like, how can people start sharing their story and also be authentic?
Yeah. I mean, I think you really just have to lean in to the things that have shaped you and the reason you started building this personal brand in the first place, right? Like when you felt the call or, you heard about, building a personal brand and what that could do and how that would allow you to help someone. I think you have to lean into well, why did I want to do this in the first place? You didn't want to just do it for no reason. There was something that happened to you, something that you experienced, something that you witnessed that led you to feel like, you know what, I have to go and do this for somebody else. I have to share this story to somewhat save someone else. I always tell people, don't shy away from sharing your stories because you never know who you can save. Right. And if we're hiding from that, then the people who are meant to hear it never get to. And I also think that our stories aren't necessarily unique because I do think we're all living some version of the same story, but it does take hearing it from someone else, right? Like, if you've ever heard a message from someone, but it didn't click when they said it, but it clicked when someone else said it. And so it's just go out there and share your story, lean into your experiences, lean into the things that have happened to you and that have shaped you and that are going to help someone overcome the things that you overcame. And make it about that and just totally lean into it and be willing to be vulnerable. That's the only way I think you can make it happen.
Beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So where can people find you? Where do you hang out the most? How can people connect with you? What's your jam?
Yeah, well, most people can find me on Instagram. That's where I spend most of my time. My Instagram handle is Bree Does Branding. That's BRIDOES BRANDING. Bree Does Branding. Now I can spell. Thank God. So yeah, I hang out on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook, and you can just find me at Briana Medard, BRIANAMEDARD. And if you guys want to know a bit more about social media and how to ease into that with confidence for your personal brand, I also have in my link tree a wait list for my social ease method that will be coming out soon to help you navigate social media and personal branding with confidence and ease. And also, I have exclusive access to the free audiobook of Wealthy and Well Known. If you want to build a personal brand and you really have a message to share with the world, this is a book that you want to read. So if you are following me on Instagram, in my link tree, you will also find a link to that free audiobook to get you started on building a personal brand.
Amazing. Okay. And one last question before we go. What is something our listeners can start implementing in the next 24 hours to move the needle for their personal brand?
Ooh, that is such a good question. I think if you want to start moving the needle with your personal brand in the next 24 hours, you need to lean into storytelling. That is the best thing that you can do. Share your story. If you're not sharing your story, we have nothing to care about. We have nothing to value. We cannot see you. We cannot understand you. So if you're hiding away from that vulnerability aspect, you've got to let it shine. Lean in. Tell your story.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm so excited you were here today. And this was so valuable. I cannot wait to share your gifts with the world. And I just really appreciate you.